Hi guys, I'm Jacob, and I'm going to be showing you some basic restring techniques today. We're going to start with a regular steel string acoustic. How many of those brought those with you today? Alright, cool. And if you want to grab yours and follow along, you should have your free strings. All kinds of great little gadgets available to us to make this process go a lot more smoothly. I'm going to use a D'Addario Pro winder today. It's got a bridge pin puller, the string cutter, and the peg winder, so it's kind of everything you need in one little convenient gadget. So the first thing I'm going to do is loosen up my string, make sure there's no tension there. Take my pin puller, seat the head of the bridge pin in it, pull it free. The string should follow. Set your bridge pin aside in a safe place. Go ahead and unwind your old string from the headstock. So with the Ernie Ball strings we're using today, each pack has your strings individually packaged in different envelopes that are labeled with the gauge, so you won't have a hard time keeping track of those. So now take your fresh string and that bridge pin you pulled out, and don't worry about making a mess. That's part of what we're here for. We'll clean it up, guys. With these Earthwood light sets, you're looking for that 52 for your low E.
Which side? The ball side or the
Ball side at the bridge with the pin. Once we all have those uncoiled, just seat the ball in the hole, take your bridge pin and press that ball down in there with the pin while maintaining some tension on that string with your hand. You want to push that pin all the way until it is seated, and then take your string, pull firmly on it, and seat the ball end against that bridge pin. That should help hold both the string and the pin in place without further assistance from you. We'll make sure our tuning pegs are lined up here at the nut to accept our string. And we'll go ahead and thread all the way through that hole and pull it tight. And what you want to do is, with that hand at the headstock side, you want to hold tension on that string. Take your free hand, and if you have kind of big paws like mine, I use 3 fingers. Most people can get away with 4. Go ahead and slide your fingers under that string and pull them perpendicular to the top of the guitar. And that's about as much slack as you want to have right here at the bridge. Now, while we're holding what we've got here with our slack, before we start turning the machine heads or anything, bring your hand up, wind your string once towards the inside around that post. I'm going to go ahead and get mine wound and then come around, make sure everybody's doing all right. What you're gonna find is that it's gonna want to hold onto your fingers up here. You're just looking for some tension on that string right now for it to hold itself in place without having a whole bunch of slack in the mix, just like this. Doesn't have to be in tune or at pitch right now, you just want it to be tight. We're gonna repeat this process a few times, guys. So while we're doing this, I want to tell you guys a little bit about what you should look for when the time comes that you think it might be time for some fresh strings. You're looking for discoloration. Any of this nasty flat patina that you see on my old strings, and we'll pass a couple around here. Any of that loss of shine, any compromising on your tuning stability, or any change in your sound. All of these are pretty good indicators that it's time for a fresh set of strings. These will keep your guitar feeling and sounding its best. Part of what that discoloration indicates is that the oils and acids from your skin have started to compromise the integrity of the metals that the strings are made out of. Usually if that outside wrap has started to discolor, the core of the string is very much more advanced in its corrosion underneath. And if you break one string, chances are the other 5 are close behind. So when you're picking your fresh strings are the foundation of what your guitar's voice is going to be like. So different alloys and different gauges are going to produce different sounds on different guitar bodies made of different woods. So the best thing I could recommend would be to experiment until you find the sound you're looking for. I personally like a light 12 in phosphor bronze. These strings we're using today are 80/20 bronze, which is a fancy way of saying brass. So these are going to be really, really bright, crisp sounding strings. They are an 11 gauge, so they're very light and low tension without necessarily feeling like an electric string. Doing all right, man? Just like anything else in music, it might not come quite so naturally the first time, but practice is what makes it. I made a big mistake when I started out. I forgot the number one essential of this other than strings, the tuner. So Cody's gone to grab my snark so that we can get this first one off the table. Good man. Once we get our strings wound and trimmed, it's time to throw the tuner on there. Get our strings to pitch. Still not quite there. Fresh set of strings will stretch a little bit. Thank you for watching part 1. For more information on restringing electric guitars, please check out part 2.